I've been involved. I welcome some of the things that the party's doing through the task force, if I'm allowed to talk about exactly the task force. However, okay, I might be successful in business, but it's been a hard struggle. And I'm at the party today, I'm at the conference today, but I come from the area of Camberwell and Peckham, Old Bermondsey and Southwark, constituency well known to you all because it's been a Lib Dem held seat for 30 years. And I have struggled to get by and to do what I feel that I need to do, and achieved it under difficult circumstances. I'd like to say that being a member, I'm a member also, a Liberal Democrat member. However, I've got some feelings that I think that should be in, and I've got some things that I feel that the party should be taking forward. And I welcome the launch of the task force, the documents that are out there in the domain at the moment. But I'd like to say that I would like to see the party reflective of what we're trying to do, not just leading a groundswell and a change for the other political parties to follow and what the Deputy Prime Minister is looking to do. I feel that that us as a whole can do something, and do something that's well-meaning. When you look at education and training, what I'm involved a lot in, you will see this mood music as the category of people that need help. But in some parts of the country, this mood music is not the majority. It's the English people themselves that are the minority. And I feel that before we rush to cure one problem, we need to look at the other problems that it might create. Now, it's been 36 years since the Race Relations Act was brought in to look at discrimination in public office, public life, public service. And I still think there's a lot there still to do. And on going through the documents, I believe there's a lot of that the party can do, and some of you in here can do. I feel that when the difficulties that people face in looking at the attainment that they have at their schools and colleges and so forth, and I'm also involved in the Robust Training Army in London, and I'm also a non-executive director on the Skills Funding Agency board along with the Association of Employment Learning Providers. I see it, and I sit down there and I challenge it, but it's for the political parties to stand up and not to dilute race equality, equal opportunities in public life. Now, when you look at Ofsted, we're talking about education and training, you look at what Ofsted are doing, it's no longer a requirement, and it's in the document, it's no longer a requirement to make sure people conform with equality, diversity, equality impact assessments. You look at what the Equality and Diversity Act 2010 has brought in, the scrapping of 162 acts to create one, yet the political parties are not looking at making sure what those acts were for are taken into education and training. Now, do you really want to, I've seen the headline, do you really want to wait for 2070 that this party, that I believe that's done a lot for apartheid and the struggles in Sri Lanka and so on and so forth, a lot of stuff has been done by our constituency MP, Simon Hughes. Do you feel that we have to wait that long? Some of the work that Merrill does and Merle does, it's for BAME people. However, in education and training, there's that sort of ceiling that there's only certain achievement that you can gain. And I feel that I have a multi-million-pound business, but it wasn't given to me on a plate, and I worked damn hard for it. And I sit here day in, day out, and I sit in Camberwell and Peckham and Southwark and Old Bermondsey, and I sit there and I say to them that something has to be done, make sure that things can happen, because the diverse areas of the country, the Bradfords, the Leeds, when you look what happens in Leeds, it's in the document, what happened in Leeds, the papers were anonymously marked, and where the papers are anonymously marked, you will see that women of which the party lacks a lot of women in high places, women and BME marks were higher when they were anonymously marked. Now, when they're marked with their names on it, it's a completely different story. So in education and training, when I talk, I normally stand up, so I'm going to talk. I like to talk free when I stand up. Right, the mood music is this. You see, the young people, they're out there. We can write as much statistics as we want. We can have enough sound bites. We can chastise. We can put all these knee-jerk reactions into place, all these knee-jerk policies into place. But what you've got to look at is this: that task force document hits home. When you look at education and training, there's 53% of the teachers in education and training are not used to dealing with people of BME background. So therefore, straight away, you're at a disadvantage. Right? All I can say is that I lent on people over the years, people like Jonathan Hunt, Simon Hughes, and I joined the party because of Simon Hughes all those years ago, and I've done my bit. I put my money where my mouth is. I go and knock on doors. I'm an activist that is in there morning, noon and night. By-elections, my company sends the buses up and down the country, taking people up to help with different wars across country, because I believe in some of the things that we're trying to do, some of the things that the Deputy Prime Minister is trying to do, and what he said. I welcome the work that a lot of the work that Dwayne Brooks is doing as part of this research for this task force document. But what's got to happen is, I sat in Bournemouth 3 years ago and listened to Nick Clegg and Trevor Phillips say that the party has to do something, and we have to do something, and we have to do things to help those people that need help. We cannot sit here and say it's been diluted. We cannot say we're the shepherd. We want to be the shepherd, not the sheep. At the end of the day, we can, as a party, take these things forward. That document, which some people have seen, which is due to be launched, has got some things in there that hit home. Now, as a businessman, I welcome that. As a businessman, when you sit down and you hear your local MP say that we want to stamp out racism in banking, in education, and so on and so forth, discrimination, it's right. So what I'm saying to you all, that I'm here to tell you today that we don't just have to look at what's being done outside, it could be inward looking, and at the end of the day, there's enough, the wherewithal is there. When you look at the document itself, and I'm coming from education and training in the areas that I'm in, I believe there's a lot of good work there, and that the complete document's entirety, if it's taken forward in its entirety, because it's draft, at the end of the day, it can help. But what we've got to do as a party is to respect the Equality Act 2010, the 1976 Act, and as a party as a whole is to go forward and recognise people in education and training. It's not just about the teachers, it's about the legislation that makes and compels them to do what they have to do to make sure that we get a fair crack at the whip. So I'm not going to go into tell you about statistics, and I have them all, but what I'm saying here today, I've come here, I'll answer questions if you want to ask me that's on statistics, but what I want to say to you is this: I'm living proof that no matter how hard you can try, and no matter how hard they put you down, that you can keep going. So at the end of the day, I'm here just to let you know, and I can answer your questions later on, that at the end of the day, I applaud that document, and as a party, you should get behind that document.